Welcome to this exciting three-part series where we deep dive into Brazil with our guest Matilde. In this first episode, we're covering the cultural richness of Brazil, what to explore, and some myths versus reality when it comes to safety. Matilde has explored Brazil firsthand by staying there for 6 months. Luckily, she also attended the Rio Carnival. And she's here to share all her insights with us. So if Brazil is on your travel list, stay tuned. This one's for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Trip 101 Travel Series. Today we're talking to Mathilde, who's joining us to talk about the beautiful destination of Brazil. I'm so excited to share with all of you about this destination for which I've personally been looking out for information for a very long time. So thank you for joining me, Mathilde. And please tell me a little bit about yourself before we dive into the destination.
Thank you for having me, Ananya. I'm happy to share more about my travels. So I actually lived in Brazil for 6 months. I was doing my master's degree in Chile at the time. This was about 2.5 years ago in 2023. I decided to do a semester abroad in Brazil. So I applied for that through my master's program. I spent about 6 months in Brazil. And during my time there, I tried to visit as much as possible, but Brazil is a humongous country, so I obviously wasn't able to do everything I wanted to do. But I did get to visit some nice spots that I'm excited to talk about later.
Yeah. So where were you based, in Brazil?
I was based in Sao Paulo.
Okay. And what about yourself as a traveler? And apart from the semester abroad that you did in Brazil, do you travel frequently, or how is your travel life?
Yeah, I'm a very frequent traveler. I usually do solo travel, but in Brazil, I had classmates that were also very eager to travel. So I did do a lot of trips with them as well. There's some group trips that I did that I organized as well with our class. It was about, I think, 10 of us. And then there were some other travels that I did were just like a group of four. And then some it's just like me and like a friend, so two of us. And then there's some that I did also just by myself. Like when I went in the northeast of Brazil, I did that by myself. That was like my last trip in Brazil before I went back home.
So, what were the months you were in Brazil for?
I was in Brazil from January to July. I got to experience Carnival in Rio, which I heard or I was told that it's the best city in Brazil to experience Carnival because it's
Hmm.
just so crazy. It's definitely amazing. I absolutely loved it and I would do it again if I could. It's an
Mhm.
amazing experience. Yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely something anybody should do. Yeah,
Did you take the carnivals in other cities as well, or just Rio?
yeah, just Rio.
So, what were you expecting, and what did it turn out to be like?
So I knew it was going to be very crazy, a lot of partying, a lot of drinking, a lot of crazy things that really only happened during Carnival. And all of that did happen because of the university I was in. They warned us, they scared us, honestly. I think it was more like trying to scare us off rather than just warning us. Like they made it seem a lot more dangerous than it actually was, saying we could get drugged, assaulted, not trust anybody. It was a free for all, basically, and that if we were going there, we were accepting responsibilities, possibly ending up like getting killed. And I was like, this is crazy. Luckily, I had a Brazilian friend. She told me, I've lived in Rio my entire life and I have not gotten assaulted a single time. So I can guarantee you that you're not like nothing's going to happen to you if you just follow like the basic safety rules. Don't flash your phone, don't flash any jewelry, don't do anything stupid, and you'll be fine. Don't have your windows down in an Uber if you have your phone in your hand because they're just going to hop into the car and snatch your phone. Other than that, I was fine. Nothing happened to me. I enjoyed my time in Carnival, didn't get assaulted, no Rocky. So I think that's something that a lot of people get wrong about Brazil and Rio and especially is that it's like a dangerous city. There's definitely a lot of poverty, but poverty doesn't always equal danger and like being robbed and things like that. You just have to, like I said, follow the few safety rules. And something I really enjoy about Brazilians is that they're really friendly. Even if I spoke Portuguese, because I took a Portuguese class right as I landed in Brazil, because I didn't want to be that person that just spends 6 months in a country and doesn't speak the language and tries to get by with few words that I knew. So I took a language course and it helped tremendously. That's probably one of my biggest tips for anyone that wants to travel to Brazil is to learn a little bit of Portuguese because it goes a long way. Brazilians are so grateful. Even if you speak the worst Portuguese ever and you just know like just a few words, just the fact that you're trying, they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, you speak Portuguese so well," and then they're just gonna try and talk to you more, and it's just yeah, Brazilians are amazing. Like they're so friendly and they're just such a beautiful, beautiful kind of people.
Mm. So apart from the friendliness of the Brazilians, what were like the places or attractions that stood out from you? What were the highlights of your 6 months in Brazil?
So Rio obviously is amazing, but there's a lot more to Brazil than the big cities. I would go on a lot of weekend trips to beach towns between Sao Paulo and Rio. There's Ilha Grande, Ilha Bela, so many in between. If you're based out of either Sao Paulo or Rio, you can just take a bus and it's like the perfect weekend trip. And the beaches are beautiful and not very crowded. I love Brazilian beaches. They're so beautiful. White sand, blue water, palm trees, everything luxurious. Everything is so green. And the beach vendors, you don't have to go to a restaurant. If you're hungry, they can bring food to you. The beaches are really nice. I really liked my time in the Northeast and I wish I had more time there. It's very different than Sao Paulo or Rio. The people are a lot more laid back. They're also very friendly, but I would say they're even friendlier than in the big cities. They take more time to talk to you and get to know you and show you around. There's also really, really nice beach towns in the Northeast. There's one that's called Itacare, and it's this tiny little surf town. And it's probably like the place like I felt the safest in all of Brazil. It's like one of the, yeah, I could walk around at night, like no issue, just living my life. Like it was really nice. Iguazu Falls is amazing. The most impressive waterfalls I've ever seen. I've heard the Amazon rainforest is also definitely something that you need to do if you go to Brazil.
I think it's huge and
Yeah.
can only cover so much ground in so much time.
Yeah, you definitely have to pick and choose. If you don't have a lot of time, you have to go to the main spots that matter most to you. It really depends on what matters. If you want big cities like Rio, Sao Paulo, or if you want nature, beaches or mountains, there's but everything. I'm a nature girly. I grew up in a city and I love city life, but every once in a while I need a break from the city and I just need to go in nature. I love beaches. I love tropical weather. I love tropical landscapes. So that's why I was mostly towards the coast. But Brazil also has a lot of, if you go inland, there's a lot of beautiful towns and villages and national parks. It's such a diverse country. There's just like
Mm.
everything.
So, what surprised you about Brazil? And you intentionally did go there for 6 months. So, were there some things that you know about it that changed while you were there, or something that was different from your expectations?
So I had heard Brazilians were friendly. I just didn't know they were so direct. Especially if you're in like the dating scene, that's insane. It's crazy. It's just I won't get into details, but it's just for me. Yeah, it's just they're very forward. If they want to know something about you or want something from you, they'll just ask for it. And that's like something because like in the US, take your time. You don't want to rush or offend anyone. In Brazil, really care. Not in a rude way, just curious. Oh, so what is this about you? Or do you like to do this? Things you would never ask in the US because it's like, what are you trying to know about my life? But in Brazil, they're very curious. I would sum it up. They're very curious. They want to know everything, even things that really have nothing to do with the conversation. They're just kind of ask a lot of questions. And which is why it's better to speak Portuguese because you can strike up a conversation and have interesting discussions.
That's interesting. So, they definitely, even if they're curious, it's coming from good intention. Like you were
Yeah,
comparing
oh,
it.
definitely. 100%. Yeah. I haven't met a single Brazilian that had bad intentions with me. It was just like, yeah. I was very lucky. Like I had friends that they had not so nice stories happen to them, but for my part, I have nothing to say about that. Really only pure positive intentions, positive experiences for me. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, that's good. So, from the 6 months you were there, if you were to recommend to someone planning a trip or a friend who asks you, what should I go and see in Brazil during a shorter span, like someone visiting as a traveler for maybe 2 weeks, what would you recommend to check out? What are your must visit spots?
That's a tough question, honestly, because I think it would really depend on like the person. Because obviously, if they like beaches, parties, things like that, Rio is great. If they want more of a laid back kind of Beaches, you can go, like, to the beaches in the northeast. There's some nice surf spots in the north. Honestly, on most of the Brazilian coast, there's some nice surf spots. There's, like I said, like, the waterfalls. There's also, like, really nice national parks more towards east, and it's, like, Lençóis, for example. I didn't get to visit that. I wish I could have, but there's also I did the Chapada Diamantina, which is it's basically, like, humongous canyon, and you hike around and you trek. There's also obviously the Amazon rainforest, nice cities as well. Florianopolis is on the coast. I'd heard that Brasilia has nice architecture. Or Porto also has ATV riding and stuff. There's so much to do. You just have to pick and choose depending on what you prefer. Sao Paulo is nice, better to live in Sao Paulo than to just visit, which I feel like is the case for a lot of big cities for the different countries that I've been to, because it's more so I feel like it's the kind of city that takes time to get to know and get comfortable because it's so humongous. There's nice things to do in Sao Paulo. If you like museums, there's nice art museums. The party scene is pretty nice as well in Sao Paulo. Really good restaurants as well. So yeah, it really depends on what you like and how much time you have and all those things.
Yeah, I think it's a big country to explore in a matter of weeks, for sure. And even from the 6 months that you've spent over there, and from just talking to you, I know that you already have a list of places that you haven't visited properly for which you would want to go back yourself.
Yeah. If I could, I would spend another 6 months just traveling, no studying, full time traveling just in Brazil. And I feel like even that wouldn't be enough because there's so much to see. Yeah.
Wow, Matilde, your experiences and insights are truly bringing Brazil to life. From cultural diversity to safety tips, there is so much to take in. But we're just getting started. In the next episode, we'll dive into where to stay, how easy is it to get around, and of course, the vibrant street food scene. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and join us for part 2.